This is so weird.
Hello, that's Jen, and I'm Kyle. And in this video, she's going to teach you how to cook a rabbit. We've been eating rabbits for years. This recipe is similar to pulled pork, but it's not pork. Think pulled rabbit instead of pork. But first, a quick word from my son's potholder company. His name's Creed, and he's awesome.
Hi, I'm Creed, and I make quality potholders for people like you. My potholders are sturdy, comfortable, beautiful, and durable. They're great for cooking anything from potatoes to rabbits. Order now on Etsy. Link in the description.
At Trumanology, we are growing our own food. I wanted to make a recipe today, to show you a recipe today that is one of our favorites, using rabbits. So I don't know if you've ever cooked or had rabbit before, but a lot of recipes for rabbits are expecting that you like went out and caught it and it's old as dirt and you have to cook it forever. And that's not really true if you have a rabbit that was raised on a homestead, that is going to be a younger rabbit, and you're going to know that you're not going to have to deal with it being an old tough rabbit. So this recipe is just an easy, non-fussy recipe that you can make during the week for your family. So we have 7 children, and my mother-in-law lives with us. So I am usually feeding a crew, but you could also make a lot and just save some back or freeze it. So I start with just peeling an onion and slicing it in half and throwing it in my pot. I like to put about a cup of filtered water in. And I'm going to be making this in the Instant Pot because I can get it started earlier in the day. Later I'm going to shred the chicken. So later I'm going to want to pull the rabbit out after it's cooked and let it cool for a little bit before I shred it. And the kids like to help me with that. So it's usually easiest if I get the rabbit started earlier in the day, just because of our homeschool schedule. And then I can pull it out and let it cool for a little bit while I make my barbecue sauce and the kids shred it. Then we throw it back in. If we do it early in the day, we could do that during lunch and then just let it stay on warm until dinner. But you could really do it on any time frame. You do want to make sure that your rabbits actually fit into your pot. If not, then, well, if you had a rabbit, it's going to fit. If you're trying to do 2 like me, if they don't fit, then you could do this in the oven. You would just want to put probably a little bit more water or broth and put it in a large pot with a lid, and then you could cook it low and slow in your oven. All right, so I'm just checking the seal in my lid, making sure I have everything together. I'm going to put it on and lock it and set it to the sealing position. And then I'm gonna have to move it, but once I do, I will just put it on the poultry setting. All right, now I'm gonna make barbecue sauce. We have a lot of food sensitivities in my house, so it can be hard to find things like jarred barbecue sauce that we can all have, and this is pretty easy to throw together, and my family loves it. So to get started with, I'm gonna use a container of organic ketchup. Mine happens to be 20 ounces. Sometimes when I'm making this, I make it in the Instant Pot while I'm shredding the rabbit. If I'm doing 2 rabbits, otherwise, if you're just doing 1 rabbit, this would probably be more sauce than you want. But that is an option if you're doing 2 rabbits. Then I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Next is a 1/4 cup of sweetener, and my family likes it best with molasses. I am going to measure this just to get it right. Nobody's here to look. All right, next 1.5 tablespoons of W sauce, Worcestershire. Who really knows? Not me. I can blame it on being homeschooled. I've read it, I just don't know how to say it. Then we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Sometimes I just use onion flakes, but I happen to have onion powder right now. Right, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Now we're gonna do paprika. I like to use smoked paprika for this. It says 2 teaspoons. I would go to a tablespoon. I like to have some pepper already ground from my coffee maker so that I can add it quickly to recipes like this. But as soon as I grind a bunch of pepper, all of a sudden everybody wants to use it and it's fun. All right, so that's it. Everything I need is in this pot. It just needs to be heated up so that it can cook together and reduce just a little bit. Since I've got 2 rabbits in my Instant Pot, I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in the fridge and then heat it up later while I'm shredding my rabbit. All right, so my Instant Pot finished cooking and it kept the food warm and came down, it released all the pressure and it sat there for an hour while I talked to a friend. So now I am ready to remove my rabbits from my pot. Obviously they're super hot. Rabbits have a different structure obviously than a chicken, and they do have some really small bones. So if you're going through and you're deboning with forks, you'll want to just kind of run your fingers through the meat to make sure you didn't miss anything until you get more comfortable with the anatomy of a rabbit. You're going to know that it's ready when the meat is just coming right off the bone. So you don't want to overcook it. I don't think I've ever overcooked a rabbit, but that's how you're going to know that it's ready, because like it's kind of coming apart and I can easily just pull some of that rabbit meat off. All right. I'm not interested in shredding my onions, but I am interested in keeping them for broth. So I'm gonna pour this off into a pot that I'll add the rest of my bones to so that I can make some rabbit stock. I'm gonna take my barbecue sauce and put it in my Instant Pot. Usually I do this right as I make it into the Instant Pot, but today I wanted to make sure I had time to show you while the kids weren't around. With all the yummy goodness going in my pot. All right, so you're just gonna take pieces off, whatever size you like, add it to your pot. If it's cool, I let the kids help me. Again, you'll start learning the anatomy of your rabbit and know where the bones are. That's the last person to use it. Surprise, yeah. Someone knows she's on the camera.